Welcome to this platform of UNGIST. Today, I would like to present few more batches which we are going to start for this upcoming mains 2023. Of course, you might have gone through your prelim stage with so many ups and downs. Now you must be prepared. You pull up your socks for the next stage of this UPSC examination. That is our mains, which has become very crucial over the years. Just because there are a lot of papers, there are a lot of things to study, but we have some challenges. Being as a student, we are flooded with the information in the market. Alright? So, in order to debunk all these myths and make such a program, which is a tailor-made program for you. So, we have tried to incorporate a lot of things in this paper, that is, which are going to help our students. For that matter, I would like to introduce you to the General Studies Paper 4, Ethics, Integrity and Aptitude. UPSC has asked or started this paper right from 2013, and till date, it has become very crucial. It appears very easy, but there are the challenge to score high marks. So before telling you everything, the nitty-gritty of this paper, let us explore this, what we are going to offer you. This is going to have both the section, section A and the section B. Section B is the applied part in which case studies are there to test your applied understanding of ethics. Section A, which is generally very simple, which will ask you the questions about your conceptual clarity on the topics of ethics. Alright? So let me introduce you what are the batches we are going to start in this upcoming mains time. So we have understood the demand of the different students in the different manner. There are the people, those who are going to start ethics this year as a fresher. That means they have not yet studied any of thing with respect to this subject. So for that matter, we have the foundation batch. It is going to cover all the concepts, all the topics, all the associated phenomena of ethics with respect to society, law, and an individual, right? So there is a foundation batch which is going to be complete by the 32 sessions, 2-hour session each, all right? So it is going to take the slightly longer time. And in order to cope up with this, the time constraint for those students which have already written mains in their previous attempts, but they are yet struggling to gain adequate score so that they get their interview calls. For that matter, we have the brush-up session. In this brush-up batch, it is going to be for only the 15 days in the 15 session, 2-hour session each. In this, we will revise every concept covering all the syllabus of section A and section B. That is your applied part of case study. This is going to help us. And then, those who already have done all these things, but they want only answer enrichment. So for that matter, we have designed the answer enrichment workshop of the 3 days. This is going to work for all those students, either from the foundation batch, either for the brush-up batch, or either those students who have not taken any of the courses or batches, but they simply want to enrich their answers. And in our coming up slides, I would also like to tell you how to enrich your answers. What could be the structure of the answer? What the UPSC is looking for? Why we are struggling with the marks? And at the end, I will show you how you can get the highest score in this paper, which is going to, put you in such a comfortable position that your interview call is certain. Alright. So there are another set of the people, those who simply want to understand the nuances of case study, how to solve a case study, how to find out the stakeholders, what are the ethical dimension could be, and how to resolve those ethical dilemmas so that at the end you can solve this particular case study in such a manner it has some comprehensive bearing on society. That means your solution must have some futuristic bearings. Alright? So anyway, if you do not find out your place in such of categories, or you want something else, which is of course encompassing everything, that is the mentoring and evaluation process. So in this batch, in the mentoring and evaluation, you can come up with writing your own answers. You can come up with any of the query with respect to this General Studies Paper 4. We are going to solve it through the one-to-one interaction, and we will give the feedback, and again we will tell you in a particular way that how you can improve your score. Alright, so this is going to design in such a way that every student can be accommodated with any kind of their need or the demand or aspiration with respect to this paper. Alright, so besides that, every batch is going to provide you online, offline classes and other resources like handouts, like PDFs, the daily assignments, so that you can keep your understanding abreast while writing your answers. You can learn the answer writing through the different sections or from the different section of section A and section B, and then feedback will be given to you. And then you will have the opportunity for the one-to-one interaction, that in particular question, in particular dimension, whether you are able to write write a good answer or not. We will help you how you could do that, all right? And least not last, that is the most evident thing, the complete empiricism that we have brought in, that is the toppers interaction. We will try to bring you those toppers over here that they have written, they have adopted some methodology or approach while answering this CSC means ethics paper, where you will get an opportunity whether this particular approach or methodology toward case study or towards section A is evident or not. All right. Having said so, let's move to the next part of it. That is the crucial part. This is the syllabus. We are going to cover in all the batches in the certain period of time. So, see, what could be your approach? I would say that when we approach towards section A or section B, we come across with certain problems. What are certain problems that we will see now? That at times we do not have the adequate understanding of the concepts, all right? So first of all, we should have crystal clear understanding of concept, how it is operating in the society or within the ambit of law, and how the social morality or the constitutional moralities are played, are downplaying or upplaying on these phenomena in which a particular person is acting. All right. So in that way, we have to understand these concepts which are defined by our syllabus, defined in our syllabus, and then we have to adopt a particular approach toward the questions. All right. That I'll also give you the glimpse in the next slides, coming up slides, where we have just categorized the whole paper into 3 sections. The one would be your quotation-based question. One would be where you have to define some particular term or particular phenomena, and then you have to answer that. And thirdly, the case study. All right. So these are the approach. Case study, as I said, it is the applied part. Whatever we have learned in the section A, that we are going to apply while solving the case study, whether there is a conflict between the ethical issue, there will be the conflict of interest, or there is ethical dilemma, or there is a conflict between the social morality or the society's own cultural norms versus the law, or any other ethical dimension, that we will try to see. We will be in the position how to solve the case study in that way. All right. So these are basically the approaches that we have to adopt. We have to practice in our session. How to identify stakeholders, how to present them on the paper, how to identify ethical dilemmas, how many ethical dilemmas are there, and or if there is any other conflict of interest, we will come across identifying, recognizing all these things. Then one by one, we will debunk how we are going to solve. What conventions, why facts, or any other committee reports that becomes apt to substantial point will come handy at this point, at this stage. That is, your answer will become distinct. It will become naturally your answer. All right. So this kind of approach that we have to adopt, and what kind of approach we will have in the quotation-based questions, that current relevance has to be ascertained. All right, so this is another glimpse of the answer writing that we are going to work upon that in our coming lectures, in the sessions. Either of the lesson, whether it is one-to-one interaction, whether it is mentoring, or whether it is a foundation batch, we will cover everything, every aspect that I am presenting over here, that how you are going to introduce, what kind of language it should be, how we will structure the answer while understanding or comprehending the question statement of the different nature, maybe the direct question or defining or just making a short note, whatever the question is asking, that we will see. And then when we are going to cover, we have to understand whether it is a demand of critical examination or it is just simply the discussion or elaborate. So these things we will keep in mind while we are answering, whether we have to cover both the aspects or we have to cover in such a balanced way that our answer is complete. All right. So we will discuss all these things and how we are going to conclude the answer in the futuristic manner or the balanced manner. All right. Or we are suggesting some way forward in order to solving that particular problem in the question. So this is the basic structure of our answer, where we are introducing, we are learned to introduce in such a manner so that your introduction should be distinctive, which is going to fetch you good marks. Then are you able to cover the different aspects associated with that particular question? Are we able to add some keywords which are certainly going to give you the crispness to your language, which is giving you some comprehensive, holistic approach to your answer? All right. But then you will be including the examples which are generally going to be public domain, society level examples, which are going to incite some kind of interest in the reader, and eventually you will be able to score good marks. All right. These examples are also help you to give a multidimensional reflection to your answers. So we are going to work upon that. And this is a very crucial part. I will give you the another glimpse about examples that how we should use. In most of the copies, or the students struggle with that they are writing either old examples, verbose examples, or retrieval examples, or they are not able to bring novelty in your answers while they are including the examples. Eventually, they are not getting the good marks. There is a plenty of marks. Alright? So in order to break this, what we have done, I'll help you how to think ethically when you are going to read any of the subject, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, or the current affairs. You should be in that position that I should extract what is going to use in my ethics answer. And believe me, this practice will also help you to write the essays, which has become the abstract in nature. So again, it is going to help you in both the exam, these papers, essay as well as ethics. So the beauty of this paper is that if you are able to think in the ethical dimension, what is the requirement of ethics, you will be going to bring novelty, naturality. So your answer naturally will become distinctive, and definitely you are going to score very good marks. So let me give you another glimpse how we will understand the different nature of the question, discuss, elaborate, critically analyze, examine, and so on. Alright, this is already we have covered. Then, this is the crucial part. Do you know why? Because when I write an answer, being a student, there are the common mistakes, but these are individual centric, right? Whenever I have to introduce anything or I have to define any particular concept, for example, constitutional morality or probity, we lack some, the crispness or discrete definitions, so we are writing the vague definitions. We are including very simple, ordinary general terms, very general statements which are not going to, substantiate viewpoint what you want to say in your answer. Eventually, you get average marks. So these things we have to identify as individual centric things, that these are the mistakes, but these are common mistakes we commit. So first we will highlight this. There is a complete absence of interlinking with the current affairs, or interlinking with a different dimension of society, law, or international relationship, or individual level. So these things are going to provide you these insights so that your answer is complete, is composite, is a monolith of multi-dimension. And eventually, you know that you are going to create some interest in the reader and have in that position where you are the marks are at the highest level. So anyway, see how we can avoid these. First, identify those problems, whether you are also struggling with that, then build upon all those things. Number one, if there is a bankruptcy of ideas, gain more ideas while discussing, while reading, while in one-to-one sessions, and then you can try to bring out in the crisp way. That is, your language should be lucid. Very simple presentation with inclusion of diagrams, flow charts, whatever you could do, you have to show that presentation skills in your answer. Alright? And if you are struggling with the vocab, the required vocab to write your ethics answer, it's a simple solution. Pick up those keywords. How? While reading, while understanding, while reading newspaper or current affairs or any of the content that you read, you come across, you will be in that position. Now I am able to pick up those things and I will use in my answers. Alright? So these things will help you a lot, and believe me, if you are following some mechanical exercise for 1 day, 1 week or 1 month, it is not going to help you in a way. It should be natural. It should be a part of your personality, or it should be a part of your thought process. That I write in such a crystal clear way. That's why essay writing or this mains answer writing is very crucial in this examination. It reflects our thought process towards particular subject. So I want you to have this crystal clear understanding so that you don't have to struggle, don't have to mug up anything. It should come naturally in your thought process. So we'll build the adequate vocab. For now, in this session, I will give you some example how these things are going to be manifest in your question paper or in understanding. Alright? So if you see, I have taken this 2019 as well as 2022, try to compare these two question papers, and believe me, they are asking about what do you understand by probity in governance based on understanding of the term. Please suggest the measures for ensuring probity in government. Now, just come to this point. In 2022, they have asked a similar question but in a different way. You have to write a short note on probity in public life. So can you see, probity they have asked in a complete full-fledged way where there is a limitation of 150 words, but when you have to write a short note, it was limited to 30 words. Now here comes the role of your presentation. If in this question paper, the first paper, there is a liberty to write as much as you could, but again, you have to start your answer by introducing probability. Alright? And if you're writing the vague definition, you are not going to score the marks. And if you want to really do that, simply you have to write probability is related to your adherence to the highest moral values like accountability, transparency, responsiveness, responsibility, and these all things are the elements of good governance, or to ensure the zero corruption in governance. This is the very simple understanding, and now you have to put very simple words which are going to impress the reader, which is going to create a crystal clear answer. Alright? So this is how we have to do. But when the challenge comes to limit your 30 words, now you have to write a probability in life, probability in public life. Alright? So that we will see how we are going to do that. Again, they are asking about the emotional intelligence, the ability to make your emotions work for you instead of against you. So every year we have seen that, question is coming from emotional intelligence, and it is really a useful tool also. Besides writing answers, it is going to help you throughout your journey of this examination that we will discuss this kind. Second kind of the question that we have come across, these are the quotation based question, and I know most of you will say that, sir, it is very difficult or it is very easy to answer this. Yeah, absolutely right. But are we on the right path to score marks? So let us see. These are the question asked. There is a particular quotation where there is a righteousness in the heart, there is a beauty in the character. Of course, I am not going to read the complete answer question, and it was quoted by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Alright, so now if you again see the 2022 or 21, there were the quotations given by Dr. Abdul Kalam or Mahatma Gandhi or Socrates. So how we have to do that? If there is a, we cannot read all the authors, but whole idea is that when you are introducing this quotation based question, try to introduce with respect to the author or the central idea, core idea, this particular quotation is trying to convey. Here if you say they're trying to convey about righteousness, that is, you must have some ethical lens or ethical compass in your head, in your heart, through which you can understand what is right or wrong. This is the beauty. And when you proceed to answer your question of trying to bring more aspects, multiple dimension to your answer, you have to connect it with the current relevance. What is the relevance of this particular quotation today, in today's society, in today's world? Alright, so these things we will add through the different examples by covering or interlinking with current relevance. And then we will conclude our question. And second thing, if I say, the common mistake that I have seen or we have observed, that some people are there who are introducing this quotation based question with another quotation. I think that's not a very good idea. Alright, so we have to avoid that. You can use this somewhere later, maybe at the concluding part. It may be apt to conclude a particular quotation base. Now, this is the crucial part. Why? Because, there is a time constraint. We have to read the lengthy case studies, comprehend, and then identify the different things to answer that case study. That is, to identify your stakeholders and then to present them. Are we able to identify that as a micro or the major stakeholders, then associated their ethical issues, ethical dilemmas, or the conflict of interest, if any, and then we have to see how we have to resolve, whether it is a dimension of social morality or there is a dimension of cultural norms, or there is a dimension of the legal angle or the constitution, that everything we will see. And when we are answering, now we have to substantiate my answer with a very strong arguments. For example, some fact we could use, maybe Oxfam report which is talking about the inequality, how it has been increasing day by day or year by year. Secondly, if something is about where we can include with some court pronouncement, for example, Puttaswamy case with respect to the right to privacy. Or we can also talk about the Malimat committee report when we have to talk about judicial reforms. So this is how we have to use, we have to place all this understanding that we have gained in our either GS paper 3 or paper 2 or the paper 1. See, you have to nothing to do much, but you have to simply interlink so that your answer, what you are proposing a solution of that case study is complete. It's composite, it's reflecting some very strong argument in your favor, right? And when you are solving, at the end of the conclusion of this case study, there is the two important element that whatever ethical dilemmas or the issues that we have identified, these all are resolved. And now, of course, case studies are maybe centered as the individual level or maybe at a very small section of society, but now it is up to you how you are going to translate or extrapolate to reflect a wider coverage, a wider science in that way. That means it should have some bearing in a larger way on the society. It may be going to start some new act by the government, or it is going to have some convention. For example, we can talk about the United Nations Convention on the human rights or on the rights of the refugees and so on. So are you getting my point? We have to reflect some comprehensiveness, which has some futuristic relevance at the end of your conclusion. So this is how we are going to solve case study, and believe me, having this much of insight, nobody can stop you to gain the highest marks, all right? Provided that the given time frame. So there is no constraint if you are getting the right approach. This is how. And here I have shown you a little glimpse that how the previous students have scored this much marks. All right. If you see in 2019 there was the 147 marks of this student, and this year he got selected recommended. He got 118 marks. There is another student who got here 106 marks in 2020. So these are the basic glimpses, and there are a lot of more people are there which are going to help you which kind of strategy they have adopted, what methodology they have adopted, and what they have done, and scored this mark and got recommended. So next, it could be your chance. All right. And at the end, what is the key to success in any form? Simply read, write, and excel. More you will practice, or more we will interact, more we will discuss, the more will be the outcome. And with this, I would like to invite you to our live classroom sessions. Please join us on our live batches. All the information we have shared on our Telegram, YouTube channel. Please stay tuned. Thank you so much.